not cookie cutter. So in the very early days of my business, I decided that I wanted to be like Apple brand or Tiffany and take the position that I am a diamond in the marketplace. I don't haggle. I don't go on sale. I don't early bird because I'm not a frickin' Denny's. I'm not an item at a flea market. Flea markets and Denny's are great, but that's not what I am, and that's not what I'm offering here in this business. That was my position. I loved Apple products. I had an Apple laptop. I loved Apple products, and then iPhone and everything. But Tiffany's, I didn't really care for just because I'm not a fancy jewelry girl. And also at that time, Tiffany was like way out of my realms of possibility. But both are brands that don't go on sale. They just stood wholly and completely in their value. And that's what I loved about that. So I took the position that I have a unique value proposition and that value sells itself. I decided I have no competition. There is no one exactly like me, and there's no one who does exactly what I do in the way that I do it. And there never will be. And my work will sell itself by pure resonance. That was my decision. I will not compete or give my energy to competing in any way, price-wise or otherwise, ever. So I just decided that I wanted to do that. And I decided that those who see my work and are like, OMG, I must have this. This is for me. Yes, this person. I want to work with them. Yes, this work. Yes. Those people who felt that way when they saw my work, those are the ones who I wanted to work with. They were my people. Not because I decided it, but because I was just being me and deciding what I wanted. And then they decided that they were my people for them and for what they wanted, for their own drives and their own reasons, which are none of my business. So even though I had no right to take this position about myself, I took it because Apple and Tiffany had no right to either. Other tech and jewelry brands exist. There's tons of competition out there. Similar products are out there everywhere, but they decided there was no competition for them, period. That was their position. At the time, I was 20 years old with a baby, living in a one-bedroom house and barely making ends meet. I had no visible right to feel that way about myself or take that position about myself or my work, but I just decided to. I decided my work was special, that it was unique, and that there was nothing like it, and that there was no competition. Does Apple have competition? Of course. Does Tiffany? Yes. But they just don't pay any mind to it. They take the position that it just doesn't exist for them because they are their own unmatched value. So they do not compete. They just fully embody their unique value proposition. They stay in their own lane and they give all of their focus to what they are doing alone. And they don't defend it with specials or discounts or any of the kind of convincing games that others play to make it, quote, worth it to people. The worth is absolutely apparent. That's the position they take. They stand in their unique worth, period. It's an entire vibe. They're saying, this is the value. We don't need to add value to this because this is the value. And that's the same with me. That's what I felt. That really resonated with me. I always couldn't really stand it, actually, when people would be like throwing in all this extra stuff. It's like, why do I want all this extra clutter? Like, the thing. I just wanted the thing. Like, that should be the value. So I resonated with that because I resonated with, I don't want to play a game. I just want to like know who I am and just let that do the talking. So But there are millions of people who would not think anything of my work. They would hate my work, and they hate Apple, and they hate Tiffany's. But the people who do not think anything of my work, they're just not my people. That's all. And I am not trying to convert people to my side. I am on my side. I am on my side. Other people who are also on their own side choose me. That's it. And I would not want that any other way, because that is a mutual, consensual agreement. So, I'm sharing this with you to illustrate that you are not for everyone. You and your work is not for everyone. Own that. You're not going to be accessible or even desirable to everyone. Own that too, so that it can stop owning you. You are only going to be accessible to the ones who have chosen and are choosing the same things that you are choosing. You're just both choosing in the same direction, that's all. And that's what makes beautiful and mutually beneficial partnerships, working partnerships, and valuable transactions, whether or not it's a service or any kind of a thing like that, if it's just a product. Valuable transactions mutually. And it's the same in relationships, right? If one person is trying to drag the other person or convince the other person, that's not going to be a very happy relationship. But listen, not everyone wants or is designed to take the position that I took, or that Apple took, or that Tiffany's takes. And you do not need to be in order to be super successful. Because just look at all of the brands that do go on sale and do offer big promotions and deals and incentives and do behave more like a flea market, and they absolutely thrive in that and serve people who need that and who respond to that and who are also choosing that or who also want and need that. So it's a beautiful, beneficial, mutual partnership, just the same as the other way. Just the same as what I've talked about prior to all this. So there are millionaires and billionaires and just super successful tiny small businesses or solopreneurs in every type of business and every type of work and selling work that is done in the world. So it's really about simply owning what your comfort zone is, what your soul's resonance is, and working with that. It's about identifying what that is and working with that. I wanted to be a gem far before I really felt that I was one or really had a right to be. I mean, I was actively harming myself and hating myself in many ways back then, but I still felt that this was the lane for me. And because I chose it, that's the lane I became. That is not to say that I didn't have doubts about that, huge doubts and huge fears and huge insecurities and days when I felt like me and my work were absolute shit. And there was a ton of competition and I would never succeed or thrive. But at the end of the day, when I felt my feelings, I decided to hold my position, even though I was facing all the contrast to that and all the places in me that feared the opposite. I faced them, I felt them, and I just kept recommitting to my decision. And then that decision became my reality. But for the longest time, I did not or could not apply that same choice and mindset to my work of mentorship and art and writing and teaching, because I still believed the power to do so was outside of me somehow, but not anymore. The tide has turned now there too. And it really was just that same decision that I had enacted from my 20-year-old self. All that time, like the ruby slippers were on my feet the whole time. It's one of those kind of situations. So my Work Sells Itself course is going to help you to embody your own true north and your own innate value, whatever that is for you, so that you can show up with your work and sell your work at any price in any way you choose with greater ease and joy. So you can liberate yourself from the cookie cutter methods that make this whole thing feel like selling your work is like a painful chore, and just be able to shine as the natural gem you already are. I have some really beautiful ways that are going to help you find that in yourself and hold that in yourself more solidly. So I'm super looking forward to it. I cannot wait. We start January 9th, but it's open for enrollment now. Grab your seat at sunnychapman.com/my-work-sells-itself.